Yo, what's up, guys? Let's find some bets real quickly. We got a lot of good college football games today. We got NBA, and there's a lot of NFL plays already popping up for tomorrow. So in these live streams, I try to focus on the main sports books that, are legal in the most possible states. So for example, this book right here, Fliff, it's legal basically everywhere. I mean, there's very few states. It's legal in like 45 states, something like that. And anyways, let's find some plays. So what we can do is let me load up Fliff first of all, and then we also got PrizePicks. We have some decent looking plays. If you just go into PrizePicks, you'll see the Flex Friday we hit yesterday. We're down to, it looks like the final leg for tomorrow, Green Bay Packers. This was the protected play. So every Friday, PrizePicks has a promo, whatever. Your first bet is risk-free up to $20. So if this loses, we get our money back anyways. But we got a good start, a lot of unders, but we're 4 for 5 to start. So why don't we start out with PrizePicks? So what do we want to go to? Let's kind of pull up some plays. So let me get rid of these combo props for a second. And what we can do is hopefully there's a lot of esports too. A little overwhelming how many sports are going on today. But the first play we have is Garland over 20.5 points. So what we can do is we can just pull up the Cavs-Pistons game. Just knowing how to navigate these books quickly is definitely helpful. A lot of these good lines, they're not going to last forever. So Fliff has a max bet size of 250 if you hit the max tab. And you want to be playing with Fliff cash. These Fliff coins, yellow, are fake money. What you want to be betting with is Fliff cash, which we just locked in. And you can see here, like I follow a very data-driven approach. Everything is baked into the market. The odds that sports books are putting out. So you can see too, it's like a lot of times these lines are constantly moving. Injuries, lineup changes, who's playing, who's not playing, all this stuff moves around the market, just like the price of a stock moves with earnings. And you're going to see for Garland, it's like, okay, all the other sports books like FanDuel have ripped him, Pinnacle right here, which is known to be one of the sharpest books. All these other books have ripped Garland to being a pretty big favorite to go over 20.5 points, right? Like you can see the line movement in all these different books. They're all ripping Garland towards the over. So all that odds jam is doing is, again, there's all this different crap we can bet on, right? Player steals, points plus rebounds, double, tons of different markets. Odds jam's just reading in all the data, pointing out value and, finding value, investor, trader, sports bettor. It's kind of like the first step to making money sports betting. So that'll be the first play we go with. And then, hopefully we can find some more plays. So why don't we start out with PrizePicks, the most popular of all, and see what we have available. So the first play we have on PrizePicks is Jerome Ford over 2.5 receptions. So let's take a look at this play. So we have an NFL play for tomorrow. And why do we like this play? Like PrizePicks is a bit of a, unique platform because if you take the over or the under, like PrizePicks has fixed payouts, you take the over, you take the under, you're getting the same payout regardless. So it's fixed payouts. Any 5 flex we create on PrizePicks, we're going to see a 10 2.4x payout. So why do we like this play on Jerome Ford? And it's like, okay, all of these sports books, they all have Ford heavily favored, to go over 2.5 receptions. So you can see here, it's like all these sports books have him minus 150, whatever. So if we go here, just take a look at the Rams game quickly. We're just using market data. Even if you only use PrizePicks, you still want to be comparing their lines to other books, when you're finding your plays, treating these other sports books as a source of information. So you look at Fliff, right? They have Jerome Ford as a pretty big favorite, minus 150 favorite to go over 2.5 receptions. So all these books are, data points. All these books set lines independently. So we have tons of different data points. And they're all telling us, hey, Jerome Ford is more likely to go over 2.5 receptions as opposed to under. So that's the first play we can go with. The second play we have is Mingo over 2.5 receptions. So we can go back here. And this is in the Panthers game, a completely different game. again, a lot of people like to look at these last 5 grabs, but everything's baked into the market. The odds that sports books are putting out. So if you look at Mingo, it's like, right, all the books, every single one, they all have him heavily favored to go over 2.5 receptions, minus 140, minus 130, whatever. But, he's a pretty big favorite to go over. So that can be the second play we go with. And then hopefully we can just find some other good plays. And what's great about the NFL too is you get a ton of sports books posting odds. Whereas when you think about esports, so you can see there's a couple esports plays here, there's just not as many books with lines posted for, these esports plays. We do have some other ones though. I mean, we got a lot of overs to start out this slip. The next play it's recommending is Gerald Everett. So it looks like they actually just removed this. Over 2.5 receptions. I don't even see it anymore. So let's just go over to the touchdown lines as well. So sometimes there's good plays in these touchdown ones. So what we can do is we can just pull up the touchdown odds, on sports books and take a look at some of these different players. So like Zach Moss, for example, if we go ahead and we put in Zach Moss, you're going to see in general, he's a slight favorite on Pinnacle. ESPN has roughly the same odds on the over and the under. Pinnacle has him as a very slight favorite, minus 125 favorite to go over. But, that's only a very small favorite. We want to see spots where books have, like minus 150, minus 160, something like that. So if we look at Travis Kelce, it's like, okay, Kelsey's a little bit favored to go under. So again, on PrizePicks, if there was a gun to my head and I had to pick one pick, I take his under, right? Again, PrizePicks, they'll give you the same payout if you take his over or his under. All these books, ESPN's a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm not gonna be able to outmodel ESPN. I'm using their odds kind of as a source of information as I find my PrizePicks plays. Anyways, what we can go to next is what about this play? We got player receptions, Michael Pittman. So really we're just trying to zone in like on PrizePicks. Here's a great example. Michael Pittman under 7 receptions. So if we just go ahead here, this can be our third pick. Is 1, 2, 3. Right, so 3 different games is, again, like on PrizePicks, it does matter how many picks you're going with in each slip. So PrizePicks, they only have a 5x payout for these 3-pick entries, whereas you look at Underdog Fantasy and you look at these 3-pick entries. So let's just go here and we can take a look. Ooh, they got a promo as well, so we'll have to go to Underdog in a sec. But Underdog is 100 to win 600, right? This play actually won from yesterday. It just hasn't updated. 100 to win 600. They're giving you a 6x payout. So on PrizePicks, the optimal slip type is 5-pick flex plays. So it does kind of matter like how many picks you're going with in each entry. But Michael Pittman, PrizePicks has his line at 7. These other fantasy sites, Underdog, Jock Market, they have his line at 6.5. And you can see like ParlayPlay, most of these sports books, DraftKings, Fliff, ParlayPlay, another fantasy site, like all these books have his line at 6.5. Caesars has his line at 6.5 without much juice towards the over or towards the under. So PrizePicks has their line too high relative to the rest of the market. We have all these other data points, all these other books. All these books have sophisticated models. They're all telling us Pittman's line should be lower at 6.5. So it seems like a good play to go with. So that will make our third pick. And then we can just kind of refresh this. And one thing I do kind of like is these esports plays. What's nice about PrizePicks is you can't do this on Underdog Fantasy, but you can on PrizePicks. Is on PrizePicks, you can play esports players on the same team. So Panda and XZZ, as a simple example, you can, there's a line discrepancy between PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy. So let's go here. Now let's refresh this. Okay. So let's go back here and let's take a look at, I'm not sure if this Gobert flash sale is still going on. So we got 12 minutes. So we'll get to this after we finish this PrizePicks slip. But right, like Underdog Fantasy has Panda C's line lower. Odds Jam's just pointing out that discrepancy. PrizePicks has a line at 6. So we have this, discrepancy. And it's the same thing for this other player, XZZ, who is on the same team, right? These players are on the same team. So in esports, if you go through the historical data, in League of Legends, players on the same team are positively correlated to go the same direction, right? So just like if you're making a PrizePicks slip, you know, if you take Justin Herbert to go over in passing yards, probably makes sense to take Keenan Allen over in receiving yards. Like, it's positively correlated. If Justin Herbert has a great game and goes over, you know, Keenan Allen's a lot more likely to go over. If Justin Herbert throws for 300 yards, Keenan Allen's a lot more likely to cruise over 92 half receiving yards. So in esports, if you don't watch it, it's a little, you know, obviously less intuitive, but that's how correlation works in esports. And you'll see, like, anyone who's hitting stuff for $400 on PrizePicks, I used to be able to do it when I just started PrizePicks, you know, could get things down for $500. Now, you know, anyone who's consistently playing things for $500, it's like PrizePicks has hit me with the limits where I can only get a max of $25, as you just saw right there. But anyways, here's the first 3 plays we got. You know, it looks like the most random slip of all time, but there's value on 3 NFL plays. And then we got 2 positively correlated esports plays that both have value. So it's like, okay, that's great. Now let's go over to Underdog Fantasy and let's take advantage of this profitable promo. So they're discounting Gobert from 11.5 to 8.5 rebounds. So, okay. So again, like, that may not intuitively seem like a huge deal. Like, why is this bet profitable? You know, it's only 3 rebounds. But if you look at the odds, so if you look at like Gobert, here we can go alternate rebounds. His over 8.5 rebounds is a minus 750 favorite, right? FanDuel has these alternate lines. So you can see, like, over 7.5 rebounds. I mean, it's not a lock, but I mean, that's a huge favorite. Minus 750, 8-1 favorite. And again, like on Underdog, they give you the same payout if you take the over or the under for a player. Any 2-pick entry, 3x payout. So obviously we want to take Gobert's over because it's a minus 750 favorite on sportsbooks. It's a huge favorite. So this is like a very profitable play. If you actually go through the math behind Underdog Fantasy, which I have a little spreadsheet of, you'll see, like, on Underdog, to be profitable, playing 3-pick entries, again, they have pretty good payouts for these 3-pick entries. You know, PrizePicks, again, only gives you a 5x payout, whereas Underdog Fantasy, if you take a look at Underdog, it's a 6x payout. Is on Underdog Fantasy, to be profitable, all you got to do is be able to win these over-unders, right? Just like Gobert, over-under 8.5 rebounds. You just got to be able to win your plays above 55% of the time. If you do that, you'll be profitable. So if you can win your plays 60% of the time, you're over-under 60% of the time, only losing 40. Like, that's not easy to do, right? You got to win 60, only lose 40% of your picks. But if you can do that, your ROI would be 30% on Underdog. It all just boils down to win rate, right? Any 3-pick entry, you're getting a 6x payout. So all of your profitability is just boiled down to what percentage of your picks can you win. And obviously, Gobert's over 8.5. Again, it's not a lock, but I mean, a minus 750 favorite, you know, if you just go to like an odds converter calculator, a minus 750 favorite, minus 200 means a 2-1 favorite, 2/3 to win. Minus 750 means 88% to win. So, you know, if you could win your player props 88% of the time on Underdog, your ROI would be 309%. Obviously, no one's going to be able to do that. The only reason this play is so profitable is because, you know, it's a promo. But anyways, what we can do is we can look for a couple other picks that we can go with on Underdog Fantasy. So let's refresh this real briefly. We got Georgia, Alabama starting. It looks like some more PrizePicks plays are popping up as well. Well, let's see. Is there anything? So again, like, as NBA lines move, lineups change, all these books set their own lines. So they all need to keep, you know, whenever a player's injured, not playing, Giannis isn't playing. You know, if Giannis isn't playing, Dame's points line has to move. Dame's going to be taking more shots if Giannis is out. He's going to be doing more of the scoring. His points line has to move. So whenever there's new information in the market, all these books, but they all set lines independently, they all have to update their odds. And, you know, that's not easy for them to do. And sometimes, you know, like, PrizePicks isn't that big of a company. We can catch them sleeping, which is essentially what we're looking for. Out of these tens of thousands of lines on PrizePicks, where are they screwing up? Where are they stale? Where are they asleep at the wheel? So anyways, next play we got on Underdog Fantasy. I don't think I'm going to be able to play this. I'm already on Tyreek Hill to score a touchdown. it looks like there's pretty good value on Tyreek Hill. Under 7.5 receptions, I mean, I can try to play it. But if you take a look here, it's like, okay, all the books have the under, super heavily favored. Underdog, just like PrizePicks, they give you the same payout. You take the over versus the under. So all the sports books have Hill heavily favored to go under 7.5 receptions. So it's like, okay, that seems like a good play to go with. And then we also have Mark Williams under 10.5 rebounds plus assists. So I don't love pairing this with the Gobert play, so just like taking two players on opposing teams, one to go over, one to go under, like if the game's a blowout, right? Gobert may not be playing much of the fourth. Same thing with Mark Williams. So in general, taking star players on opposing teams, one over, one under, that's going to be negatively correlated. We don't want to do it. But what else do we like? I mean, maybe we just take Sengun under 5 assists. This seems fine to go with. So anyways, we can go here and we can take this instead of the Mark Williams play. But I don't even know if they're going to let me bet it because you can see I've already hit my $20 limit on Tyreek Hill. So again, following the data, you can make good money. Sports betting, I used to be able to bet a lot more on Underdog. They'll slash your limits if they think you're a profitable customer. So I'm not going to be able to play this play on Hill. And honestly, it doesn't even really matter what you pick. Like, I want to maximize the profit margin of this promo. So I want to find two other good picks to go with. But given how good the Gobert pick is, it's going to be almost impossible that your play won't be plus EV, that your play won't be profitable. But whatever. We can just take Jamal Murray under 3 rebounds instead, right? So here we go. We got a nice little 3-pick entry, 6x payout, and we can lock it in. Higher, under. And again, some people will ask just oh, how many bets should I be placing a day? And it really just depends. A day like today, there's probably going to be a lot of opportunity, especially earlier in the morning, a lot of college football, whereas some days during baseball season, I don't place many bets at all just because there's not many games going on, period. But anyways, let's go back here to Fliff, and then we can see, okay, is there any play on Fliff? So I recommend just having as many of these books as possible. Sometimes there's good promos on Underdog Fantasy, just like this flash sale on Gobert. Sometimes there's good promos on PrizePicks, just like this $20 risk-free bet you get every Friday. You lose, you get your money back. There's good promos on ParlayPlay. So you can see if you sign up for ParlayPlay, even if you only use it for a bit, you put in 100, they give you $200 for free. I mean, that's about as easy as it gets. Just sportsbook sign-up bonuses. This is a marketing cost for them. You put in 100, you get $100 for free. $100 deposit match on your first deposit. But anyways, let's go here to the Hawks game next. So this play looks good, right? So a lot of times you'll see, if we go to the Hawks game, I'll kind of show you. You'll see that when a book is screwing up one line, so in this case, Fliff is offering a lot of value on the over. So let's go here. You can use my location, but stop messing with me. So we got the Hawks, and you can see it just moved on us, plus 105 down to plus 100. So we missed it, but a lot of times when a book is screwing up one line, like Fliff was in the Hawks-Bucks game, you'll see they're also screwing up the other totals because all these books, again, if you go to the Hawks game, you'll see they have alternate totals where you can bet basically any total you could possibly want to, So it's not surprising, when they're screwing up one of them, a lot of times they're screwing up another one too. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to play that one, but let's go back here and we'll just refresh. Well, maybe there is still value here. So we have over 252 points at minus 105. So this also, if you just think about it, this doesn't make any sense. Again, OddsJam's just scanning the market, pointing out value. If you look at Fliff, obviously as the total gets higher, the odds should get better. If you're betting over 267.5 points, you're getting plus 330. You're getting better odds than obviously betting over 237.5. But if you look, the over 252, right? This doesn't make any sense. The over 252 you're getting better odds than the over 252 half, right? You should be getting better odds on the over 252 half than the over 252. It just doesn't make any sense. So clearly Fliff is screwing up something there, and that's what's leading to the edge. And you can see like Pinnacle, they've ripped this line to being a minus 120 favorite. So this game's and Pinnacle's known to be the sharpest bookmaker. DraftKings, not just like, only rely on one data point. You got a bunch of data points, Bovada, whatever. But all these books, make it pretty clear that, hey, there's value on the minus 105. So we can check out ParlayPlay as well. I mean, I just kind of bounce around again from book to book. If there's a lot of value on DraftKings, PrizePicks, whatever, we can place more bets on them. Whoa. So Pacheco over 14.5 rushing attempts. I mean, what's a simple example? Let's go here. And again, like this line isn't available on PrizePicks. It doesn't really matter if you think about being a trader. It doesn't really matter if you're a trader or an investor, if you use Fidelity, E-Trade, Robinhood, because all the prices are the same. The market's so efficient. Like you go to Fidelity, E-Trade, Robinhood, this is the price of Facebook you're going to be buying or selling at. Maybe some slightly different fees from book to book, but exactly the same. Whereas in sports betting, it's like, all these books, every single one is setting their own lines. Whoa. So you take a look here, Jordan Love, all these books, have his line at 217.5, 225.5, 223.5, 217.5. Sports Interaction, it's a sports book in Canada. I can't use it. But again, you still want to look at their odds as a source of information. And what's cool about ParlayPlay too is you can like bump a line in your favor. So if we like Jordan Love under 230.5, kind of like PrizePicks Taco Tuesday, on ParlayPlay, you can create your own discount and bump him up to under 235.5 if you want to. So anyways, what we can do is we can just refresh this and let's see what is available. So we got Jordan Love under in passing yards. We can go to Pacheco over in rushing attempts. Do those make sense to pair together? So the only thing you got to be thinking about, when you're playing plays in the same game is, do these plays, are they positively correlated? Obviously you don't want to include in the same PrizePick slip Mahomes over and Kelsey under. And it's kind of the same thing here. Like if we're taking Pacheco's over, is that positively correlated with, we also want to, do they have an attempts line? No, they don't. So if we take Pacheco over, Jordan Love under, we get plus 219 odds. If we take both so these plays are a little at least positively correlated. Pacheco over, Jordan Love under. I mean, very small, but you'll see FanDuel gives you a worse payout, right? The odds on the over and the under are the same, minus 114, right? But because these plays are in the same game, like FanDuel prices in correlation. They're giving you higher odds, so they think it's less likely to occur if you go here. Whoops. Right? So if we take Jordan Love's under, the odds go down compared to the over, plus 234. Now it comes down, plus 219, even though these odds are the same, which means these plays are at least a little positively correlated. Not a ton. It's nothing to write home about, but still, a little bit of value, we might as well. A little bit of positive correlation as well. And what the fuck? Did everything just move? Oh, no. Whoa. Well, actually, let's take Pacheco rushing yards. This play looks like a slam dunk. What the fuck? So this play just popped up. So let's go here to rushing yards. And let's take a look at our boy Pacheco. Right? Like all these other sports books, PrizePicks, Underdog, like everyone has his line at 60.5, 63.5, 64.5. I mean, hundreds of data points. We're getting him at 57.5. It's like being able to buy a stock at, buy Facebook at $200 when it's trading in the market at $324. It's an absolute no-brainer. So these plays are positively correlated as well. So it's like, okay, now we got two good plays. We're in business. So let's just try to, fly through, ideally try to get some good plays in. Ayton over 10 rebounds. So we can take a look at this. I mean, I try to move quickly, but also I think it's important to just understand the strategy, the reason why plays are profitable. Why does this play have an edge? And just understanding, like, on ParlayPlay, right, they only give you a 3x payout. So if we just get rid of A10, they only give you a 5x payout, just like PrizePicks for these 3-pick entries. Underdog gives you 6x. So it does matter, like the optimal slip type on each of these platforms. So you can see Aiton's line, 10.5 on all the sports books, all the other fantasy sites. ParlayPlay is just chilling at 10. Fliff has the over 10.5 a little favored. Some of these books have the under a little favored, but it's like, okay, that seems like a good play to go with, right? We want Zion under 32.5 points plus rebounds. So let's go here, right? And now we have 5 picks. And on this ParlayPlay platform, the optimal slip type, I mean, you know, the optimal slip type is 7-pick parlays. If you go through the math, that's what you'll see. So let's go here. And then we can just take Brock Nelson over 2.5 shots on goal. All the books, I assume, have his over heavily favored. You know, there's really no magic going on here. So we just want to take, you know, Brock Nelson over 2.5. And you'll see they only give me a max of $35. So a lot of people will say things like, oh, you place a lot of bets in a day. It's like, even if I had a 50% ROI on ParlayPlay, if I'm only placing 1 bet a day, that means $17.50 per day, right? There is an importance of getting down volume, right? Like, I really view it as I'm forming my own kind of little hedge fund where all of my bets are profitable. All of my bets have an edge, right? And, you know, all my plays have a mathematical edge, and then I just kind of let the math work itself out, right? Not going to win every bet, not going to win every single play, but when all of the plays you're placing have an edge, you inherently have an edge over the book in a data-driven way, you know. And like this play on Ayton, it's clear as day. All the books have his line at 10.5. Parlay plays at 10. Clear edge on the over, and just understanding the math behind these platforms. What percentage of your picks do you have to win? Like, definitely a good play to be on. Let's see if Underdog, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll run another promo. So we can refresh this and we can see. Nah, not a bunch of stuff to pair with. Also, no more promos. So there is no new promo. So we can go back to PrizePicks. Maybe we'll get lucky with PrizePicks or Fliff. Again, the market's always moving. So let's kind of see what's out there. I mean, so here's another one, right? It's just like Fliff is stale. All these other books have ripped the total higher. And again, like, this is only an issue. Like, if you think about the price of a stock, if Facebook has a great earnings report, oh, Facebook made so much money, you know, it's such a great company, their stock price will go up, right? That's reflected in the market, that the company had a great quarter, is doing well, their new products are doing well, whatever. Now, for sports betting, what makes it really interesting is all these books, it's like having hundreds of different prices for a stock and being a day trader. And that's essentially what you're getting in sports betting, is all these books, whenever there's an injury, a line movement, sharp action coming in, all these books have to update odds. And sometimes they just screw up, right? So Pinnacle here, minus 133. Like, all these other books have ripped the total as a much bigger favorite now. They're chilling at, you know, minus 115. They have the same odds on the over and the under when all the other books have ripped the over to being a much bigger favorite. So what you can do too is use a no-vig odds calculator. This is actually, you know, this is known to be the most important calculator in sports betting. What it does is, the way that books make money is by vigging their markets, adding a spread to their markets. The same way a stockbroker makes money. You know, the fair price of Facebook, this is the price equilibrium where investors, you know, buying and selling has met. 324.82, right? There's millions of investors, people running really sophisticated models. Every day they wake up and think, is Facebook overvalued or undervalued at 834 billion? And this is the price Facebook is currently settled at. If you don't believe, if investors think it's, you know, Facebook should only be worth 700 billion, they'd short it, right? Like, the market is the belief of all people combined. So the way that books make money and the way a stockbroker makes money, right, is they'll say, hey, I'll buy Facebook at 300, I'll sell it at 350. So you're like, okay, we know the fair price, you got to remove the spread, is around 325. That's how a broker makes money. And it's the same thing in sports betting, right? Like, all these books have the over Pinnacle has this market minus 133, plus 116. So the over's heavily favored. They have a 17-cent spread in their market. So we just want to remove the spread. And you'll see the fair odds, the true odds, the no-vig odds. You remove the spread, you remove the vig, the spread, whatever. The fair price is minus 123. We're getting minus 115. Value. So according to Pinnacle, according to the sharpest sportsbook in the world, Pinnacle, their model, when you de-vig it, remove the juice, they have the fair price as minus 123, and we're getting minus 115. No brainer. Right? So that's why the bet is positive EV. Right? TCU, Georgetown, under 149.5. So really, it's just like, Fliff has a max bet size of 250. So I just kind of fly through, if you $250, 2% profit margin. So this play has an edge, right, of 250 times 2.33%, $6, whatever you want to call it. And this play has a little lower of a profit margin, 2.2%. So another $5 in profit margin, right? So I just kind of lock in as many plays as I can on a daily basis that have a mathematical edge. We just locked in 2, or I did, on the Santa Clara game. And then we can go here. Man, we got UFC. UFC killed me a few weekends ago. But again, that's just kind of how it goes, right? Just because bets have an edge, doesn't mean that they are a lock. So, it's just like if you could buy Facebook at $200, the economy, whatever, they could have a scandal tomorrow and fall to 100. But obviously at the current time, buying Facebook at $200 when it's trading in the market at 324.82 would be a no-brainer. Anyways, we also got this UFC fight. So we might as well, I really think about it, recommend thinking about your bets as you want to be placing as many bets as possible with an edge on a daily basis. All your plays should have a mathematical edge, right? And I don't really give a fuck if I'm betting on esports, college basketball. It's kind of whatever. If there's an edge, I'll be happy to place my bet. Throw out some 7-pick parlays on ParlayPlay. On PrizePicks, throw out some 5 flex plays. Always take advantage of the profitable promos. You'll make some good money. So, okay, we cleared out all the good bets over a 1% profit margin. And again, really the power of sports betting is that your ROI is daily. So might as well, super low profit margin on this, but whatever, might as well lock in one final play. Is even if you, a lot of people look at this and they're like, only a 3.52% profit margin, but that's really powerful because this game is today, right? A lot of people invest in the stock market and they're like, oh, I get 8% a year. If you can earn 3% on your bets and you're betting every day, that's 90% over the course of a month. 30 days in a month, 3% ROI per day. Assuming you're betting the same amount every day, 90%, right? 90% ROI is pretty damn good on your bankroll every month once you understand sharp sports betting. Whoa. So this play just popped up. What the heck is going on? So in the Timberwolves game, any news come out? Sometimes you can kind of see it correlate with news. I don't know. But you can see here, it's okay. This play on Kyle Anderson just popped up, right? It's okay. We're getting his under at plus 100, right? So this play we for sure want to lock in. So let's go here. And is this assists? So again, we're getting this under at plus 100. Plus 100 is whatever. You're flipping a coin with a friend for $100. That's plus 100 odds. Heads shows up, you win 100. Tail shows up, your friend wins 100. Plus 100 odds. You're betting 250 to win 250. But in this case, the coin is weighted in our favor. Every other sports book, Pinnacle, Bovada, Bodog, DraftKings, FanDuel, all these books with sophisticated models, they've invested millions of dollars in their ability to set lines as well as move lines based on where their sharp customers are betting, their profitable customers are betting. These books aren't stupid. They all have Anderson favored to go under. So it's like if you had a coin that was 55% to show up on heads and you could flip it with your friend for $100 and pick heads. You're not going to win every coin flip, but over the course of the long run, you're going to make a lot of money. The coin's weighted in your favor, right? So, and this play is so good. What you could also do is you could arbitrage bet this, right? When two books get super out of sync, right? So I like the under on Fliff because every other sports book has the under favored. So it seems pretty clear that, like, okay, it's like getting a coin weighted in our favor. This play seems great. But if you don't like risk, what you could do is go to FanDuel, right? Is you could arbitrage bet this. So arbitrage is when two books get so out of sync with their odds, which right now, is FanDuel and Fliff. So if we go to player assists, where is he? So we have Kyle Anderson over 4.5 assists. So it looks like they moved it, but they had him at plus 106 odds to go over. So when two books get super out of sync, you can bet the over on one book, the under on another book, and guarantee a risk-free profit. That's called arbitrage. And all you got to do is, follow the little arbitrage calculator, and this will only take a second to do. But this is the strategy I used when I started sports betting. It's how I made my first, so arbitrage. So 242.72. I mean, in general, I recommend rounding your numbers. Just round on FanDuel to 240, 242.50, something a little more normal of a number than 242.72. But whatever, for the sake of argument, it's like, okay, these are obviously equal and opposite outcomes. He's going over or he's going under. FanDuel's giving you plus 106 on his over. Bet 242.72. Fliff is and we're going to make $7 risk free. Just for placing a couple of bets, you make $7 risk free. This game's going to be over in, a couple hours. This game starts at 2, so it's going to be over in 5 hours. So you'll be $7 richer, by the end of this game. Risk-free profit of $7.28, right? So if he goes over on FanDuel, we win 242.72 times 1.06. We bet 242.72, just following the arbitrage calculator at plus 106 odds, right? So our profit's going to be 257. We lose 250 on Fliff. We make $7 in profit. You're just day trading inefficiencies in the market. On the other hand, if he goes under, we lose 243 on FanDuel. On Fliff, we win 250, right? We bet 250 on his under at plus 250 odds or at plus 100 odds. So that's arbitrage betting. And sometimes there's good arbitrage bets, random sports books sometimes, but the more books you have, again, the more arbitrage plays you're going to have access to. More books, more profitable bets. So I feel like this play is back. So this play looks incredible. I mean, here's another example of where's the Hawks game, right? Pinnacle, DraftKings have the over favored. I mean, most of these other books have the over favored, or they have this as a coin flip. So this is and we're getting plus 105 odds. So plus 105 odds, even if this were 50-50, right? Plus 105 odds is flipping a coin with a friend for $100, where if head shows up, you get 105. If tail shows up, your friend gets 100. It's a no-brainer. So we want to lock this in quickly. 253 plus 105, right? So this is the play I locked in on Fliff. So we got a bunch of different bets on Fliff. But even if this game were 50-50, so it actually looks like the over is a little favored. DraftKings and Pinnacle have the over a little juiced, a little bit favored, and you can kind of see the line movements here. Imagine there was a coin 50-50 to be heads, tails. You pick heads and you win 105, right? So if you flip that coin and head shows up, you win 105. If tail shows up, you lose 100, right? You would flip that coin all day long because half the time it's going to show up on heads and you're winning $105. The other half of the time you only lose 100 when it shows up tails. And that's essentially what you're getting on a 50-50 outcome when you're getting plus 105 odds, which is exactly what we're getting right here. We already hit these other totals. Now you can see there's some more plays coming up on PrizePicks. So what we can do is we can go back to this fantasy optimizer for a second. Ay. Whoa. And let's take a look. at PrizePicks. See if there's anything else we want to add before we kind of call it a day. So let's go here. We got this. And we got some esports plays. Luka, over 8.5 rebounds. So it's like, okay. Let's go to PrizePicks. And what else do we got? I mean, there's some other NFL plays. Some of them are the same. Like you can see right here. And you can see Fliff just moved this. We bet this minus 120. Now it's minus 125, right? So the line already moved in our favor a bit. Like, that's a good thing. You know, if you're placing bets and the Bucks aren't ever bumping it, where did we bet this? Right? We got this minus 120. Now it's minus 125. You know, so now we have Duran. You know, this looks pretty good. Over 10.5 rebounds. So we can go to the Pistons Cavs game. Whoa, so Warriors putting on a clinic against the Clippers, it looks like. So we want to go here, and then we want to go to player rebounds and just try to move quick. All these other books, you know, they've ripped the over to being a pretty big favorite, around minus 145. You know, no emotions, just finding profitable bets with an edge and letting the math work itself out. So let's go here. Let's place that bet. Right, so you can see, long story short, it's like, damn. Some good bets showing up. Adam, over 5.5 receptions. So maybe we go back to PrizePicks, right? And we want to go to, right, over 5.5 receptions. And then let's go here. Let's refresh PrizePicks. What else did we like? Pittman, Luka. So Luka over 8.5 rebounds. So now we got an overslip. So we got Luka over 8.5 rebounds. We got some random esports plays. We have this play on Pittman. I mean, anything new. Sometimes there's some new plays we can, you know, I kind of think about it as diversifying our portfolio. We have Bismack under 7.5 rebounds. So this play seems decent. And again, like sometimes, and you can see they already moved Luka. So whatever, there's some value out there, but we'll call it a day for now. And, you know, have a great day. Enjoy college football. And thanks so much